Well, GambleAware's research tells us that it looks like around 1 million women could be at risk from the harms of gambling, which is obviously a huge number. We also know from the research that women are less likely to seek help because of shame and guilt and embarrassment, but conversely, more likely to suffer financial consequences than men. So they're more at risk of harm and less likely to seek help. So that's obviously a very dangerous and worrying combination.
And with gambling being online in this case, it's something, easy for them, for people to do in isolation and perhaps not share with others. And what are some of the sort of warning signs that people should be looking out for in themselves that might indicate that there is a bit of a problem there?
We're looking at 3 early warning signs that could indicate women are at harm from gambling, and that would be if you are spending more than you can afford to or more than you meant to. Second of all, if time is running away from you when you're on those gambling apps, you're not realizing just how much time you are actually spending. And finally, if you are hiding it from people, that is evidence that your behavior is getting out of hand and that you could be at risk and you should try to seek help.
And that's obviously things for people to look at in themselves. Could be a little bit harder if you're a family member or a friend to spot these things. But what can someone do if they think that perhaps someone that they know or love is having an issue with it?
Well, you can speak to the National Gambling Helpline or have a look at begambleaware.org. Gambling is a very serious addiction and it leads to a huge array of very significant consequences, not just the financial consequences, but also job loss, mental illness, physical illness, destruction of relationships. So it's absolutely right to seek help if you think somebody who is close to you is potentially at risk. Speak to that person as well. Say that you're worried about them and you can offer to take them to the GP or offer to speak to those charities online who are able to help.
And as well as charities like GambleAware and Gamblers Anonymous, would you, is there the advice to perhaps speak to the website that you're using? I imagine there must be a self-exclusion or perhaps limitations that you can put in place that way as well.
Yes, there are limitations you can put in place. You can put in money limits, you can put in time limits, and you can also put in a combination of both. One of the problems, of course, at the moment, as you mentioned, is that all of these apps are online and we all have that 24-hour access to our phones and those online gambling apps. And many of us have got used to having our phone with us even while we're doing other things, whether that is exercising or watching TV or talking to friends and family. So you can even be gambling when you're standing at the school gates waiting for your kids. So there are so many different ways that these gambling apps can get hold of you, that seeking help early on is really advisable.
Yeah, it's so accessible. I guess it can sort of creep in and people can be, unaware of actually how much of an impact that it's making. This new research, interestingly, also shows that there's a winter spike, that websites that are popular among women see a 30% increase around about this time of year. What is it that causes a spike at this time of year?
Yes, that's very interesting, isn't it? And obviously it's multifactorial, and I'm sure that the pandemic is also playing into that as well. People are looking for an escapism. The days in January are notoriously dark and cold. Even though it's February tomorrow, of course, we're aware of that, and we're all looking for escapism. Obviously, after Christmas and after the joy of Christmas, but also the spending of Christmas, people are looking at ways of recouping that money. And it's something to do. It's the escapism, it's the activity. There are, as I'm sure everybody will be aware now, a huge number of adverts, both online and on TV, to draw people into these very happy, cheery gambling apps. And they appear, as many people believe, that they don't cause harm because they just look like the other sort of games that we all get addicted to online. And actually, often people are drawn into the harm really before they realise.